What's up guys, it's Noah here. Welcome back to another video on the channel, and today I have a different video for you guys. Today we're going to be looking at how chess computers look at math and use math to determine what the best course of action is in a specific position. We're also going to be looking at the weaknesses of chess computers and where chess computers are strong. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So here we are on the chessboard, and I'm just going to start off straight away by saying chess computers use math to calculate different positions and what you can do in different positions, and they add up all the total outcomes to give you a final result and opinion on a position. For instance, on the first move, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, not the knight, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 different moves. And that's it. That's all you can do. So what the computer does is after this first move, the computer now calculates all of black moves. And black also has 20 moves, the same moves. You can push one pawn, you can push the pawn forward, 2, or move the knight to these 2 squares, and same on all the pawns and the other side knight. And what the computer does is after each move, it calculates what the possible moves are, adds up all of the different results afterwards. So the computer is doing multiple future calculations and loads of different possibilities all within a couple seconds. And that's why if you let your computer sit for a while, sometimes the evaluation of a position will change. For instance, if we go back and we play this sort of move, then white's next move also, he can play actually less moves. He only has these, he can't move this pawn, but he can play these moves to counter. Or move the knight to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares, or move this knight to 1, 2 squares. So he has a few different moves that he can make in this position, white does. And the computer calculates this in advance. And so if this move happens, then the computer calculates all the moves for black. And so all of these different moves are being calculated by the computer at a single time, and they're stacking on top of one another. And so the computer is doing multiple calculations at once. This is why computers are really, really good at openings, because there's only a limited amount of moves that you can make for each turn for white and black that don't instantly give away a piece. For instance, if black was to play here, then I can just take your pawn and we're fine. This doesn't hurt anything and you just give away a pawn. That's not a good move, and so black can almost automatically rule that move out. It calculates a couple future scenarios with that, but that's pretty much it. If you're just giving away a piece, the computer generally doesn't like that. But the computer can also look at future lines where black is defending a piece or counterattacking a piece, and now it has to look at all these different combinations. As you can see over here on the right side, the computer looks at all of these different combinations of moves. And so even if we just take the suggested list from chess.com, this is stacking on top of each other. It's 20 times 20 times 10, and this is going into the future and looking at all of these different results, all of these different middle games, not even end games, but just middle games, and it's giving you back a result in the form of the evaluation at the time. Now, if we go into a middle game, you can see that the computer it has a bunch of different moves, right? The queen can go a bunch of different places. It can go literally to, let's count the squares. The queen can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 different places. Oh, 19, 20, 21. The queen can go 21 different places, and it pretty much has to move because of this. But there's 21 different queen moves here, and there's also a ton of other different pieces that can also move. And so the computer has to evaluate where this rook can move, where this knight can move, whether these pawns want to move forward 1 or 2 squares in this case, whether this pawn wants to move 1 square forward, these pawns can move 1 square forward, this knight can jump in to a bunch of different places. It has to calculate all of this in a split second. And that's why in the middle game, computers aren't as great, because it takes them longer to realize what's actually good, because there's so many more moves to calculate than there are in the beginning or the end games. This is where computers make errors, and this is where the best players in the world, like Magnus Carlsen, Anish Giri, Jan Nepomniachtchi, they can find really, really strong moves that computers at low depth sometimes can't, because the computer is moving almost too fast for its own good, and it doesn't have time to calculate something that these guys might find that's absolutely brilliant. But this is also why computers are really, really, really strong at endgames. If we go here, there's only a certain amount of moves that white has that can actually continue the game. For instance, if you push this pawn, you lose your rook. And so the computer calculates this and is like, okay, just throw it out, you lose the game instantly. And so because endgames have less pieces on the board, even though they're more open than openings are, there's a lot more spaces to maneuver, there's more places the queen and rooks can go, there's still only a couple of pieces on the board, and so computers are really, really strong at endgames because they have less to calculate. There's less pieces, there's less places to move, it's simpler, and so the computer can get to an accurate representation of the board faster. And that's pretty much it. It just comes down to simple math and how quickly the computer can do all of the calculations of a certain position well into the future. Endgames are really simple because there's less pieces on the board, and so you have a lot of open space, but there's only a couple pieces that can move, and they only have a certain number of possibilities of movement. Openings are really simple for computers because there are a lot of pieces on the board, and there's not a lot of space to move, and there's not a lot of moves that just don't give away the game immediately, and computers are good at spotting what is good in openings because of that. But the computer can struggle in mid-game sometimes because there are so many different moves, the game is so complex, there's so many different options, that the computer can sometimes miss out on little things that it would normally discard just because it didn't have time to calculate what the possibilities were in a specific position. If you guys enjoyed this short little chess video, then leave a like. It would help me out a lot. And subscribe to the channel if you're new. And yeah, hopefully you guys will catch more chess content in the future. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.